In a landmark event at the Allstate Arena on June 10, 2005, Chicago Wolves and Chicago Blackhawks alumni came together to celebrate the life of Tim Breslin.
Near side, Berglund. Near circle, shoots. Rebound out in front. Breslin. He scores! Took a funny hop out in front. They score! Breslin left circle, walks in, shoots. He scores!
To see something like that happen, Thanksgiving time is when it first hit, and all right, he's okay. He got through this. He's gonna battle through it. It's no problem. And I talked to him. I talked to Brez, I think the week before he passed away, that he's going to chemo, just as a precaution. They're going to do some chemo, just to make sure everything's all good. And next thing I know, we were in the locker room and we heard he passed away. That was a tough one.
I mean, anytime you talk about Timmy, you just kind of shake your head, and you do ask why.
We just needed to do something for his family. When you have 3 kids that young, plus he was my dear friend, we had to do something.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we welcome you to the Breslin Cup. Tonight, we celebrate a friend, Tim Breslin. We celebrate his passion, his enthusiasm, and his dedication not only to hockey, but to his friends, his teammates, and to his beautiful family who are here tonight. He was an outstanding individual. We'll always remember the many moments that we had and were able to share with him. We're lucky to have watched him play, lucky to have watched him live, and blessed to be a part of his life. Tim Breslin inspired us all.
We knew guys would come in. We knew we wouldn't even have to fly anybody in. They would come in on their own, just because that's how hockey players are. It ended up being an absolute home run. It was huge, but the Village of Rosemont, they donated the building.
Breslin joined the Wolves in 1994, a member of the original Wolves squad in the International Hockey League.
Tim Breslin is one of the few original members of the Chicago Wolves. Over the last 4 years, he has seen the team have its highs as well as its lows. But one thing has remained constant, his loyalty to his hometown of Chicago. Left side, Breslin, left circle, shoots, he scores! Breslin snags the puck, wheels over the line into the slot, forehand, shoots, he scores!
He would also play a key part in the Wolves' first Cup win in 1998.
We became real close in his time here. We were together for several years, Brez and Jamie, and off the ice, not just on the ice.
For Timmy, he was a guy who also touched a lot of lives by just being a positive person. He was overjoyed with the opportunity that his ability, his athletic ability, had given him, and that joy again is contagious.
The Wolves continue to honor Tim's memory every year by awarding a scholarship to a deserving member of the Chicagoland community and by recognizing a player on the current roster with the Tim Breslin Award.
The scholarship and all of those, the presentations every year, it's a privilege to be able to do that.
Chelios came in, Savard, everyone came in, and the basis of the Breslin Cup, Tim passed away, and going back to the hockey community, when there's some type of tragedy or something wrong, it doesn't matter. We're a hockey community, and that's the biggest thing about hockey players. Like you said, we stick up for each other. It doesn't matter what team you're on or whatever. There's a lot of people play hockey, but it's still a tight-knit community and stuff like this. And both the Blackhawks and the Wolves franchises basically blended and raised a hell of a lot of money.
That June day in 2005, the team and the operations staff had to be in Philadelphia to take part in the Calder Cup finals against the Phantoms.
In hindsight, it was tough. In the semifinals, beating Manitoba 4 straight, and I think we sat around for something like 15 or 16 days. And when you don't play for that long, you lose a little bit of the drive and weren't as sharp. And I remember game 1 being like a 1-1 game going into overtime, and Philly won that game, and you kind of felt like, man, that was one that we needed to have. And had we gone, game 6, game 7 against Manitoba, I think we would have had a lot more success against that Philly team.
The Philadelphia Phantoms, for the second time in franchise history, have won the Calder Cup championship.
The shock of that loss didn't compare to having to miss the Breslin Cup that night in Chicago.
That hurt a lot, because it meant a lot to try to be able to do something for the family, and we couldn't. I mean, we were in Philadelphia getting swept, and here's the Breslin Cup going on in our locker room and on the ice at the Allstate, and we couldn't be there. It hurt.
It was a special night for the thousands of people who did get to see it and to take part in honoring Tim's memory.
I had come in because I was doing it was the lockout season, and which made the event even more amazing because a lot of the current NHL players were able to come back and be here. The event was, as a benefit to the Breslin family, and the way everybody had done that, had come together, the two organizations kind of showed who Tim Breslin was, and everybody wanted to help the family, and whatever kind of differences that anybody might have had, it didn't matter on that night, and it was really something to see.
It once again goes back to the fact that the character of people in the game of hockey is exemplary. I have the sweater framed, and that's in a prominent place in my home. Matter of fact, every time I go downstairs to go to the office, boom, there it is, with all the signatures. And you just stop every once in a while and just look at the names on there. And I recall that night, those weren't guys just scratching their names. They were, and I don't know why that night seemed different, but they were putting their mark on there.
It was just amazing how people came together to help Tim's family, and it turned out to be a night. Most people to this day, they say, I'll never forget that night. It was a great event.
Tune in next time as Daring Greatly continues to chart the history of the Chicago Wolves in this exclusive docu-series.